About Devaputtas and Devatās. The following night, we discussed young deities, Devaputta, and adult deities, Devata. As usual, Luang Por was the one who asked the first question. Have you ever been reborn in heaven, Saga? Tell me about it. With permission, Luang Por, I have been to heaven innumerable times. Each time I went to heaven, I became more enraptured in sensual pleasures, Kama Guna. This is because in heaven, there is happiness in sensual pleasures. The delight captivates you and you lose yourself in it. Previously, I had never practiced Dhamma. I was wildly captivated by heaven. In one lifetime, I did practice Patipati. I contemplated heaven and my mind grew exceedingly sick of it. A life in heaven wastes time for Dhamma practice, as it extends the time it'll take you to reach the path and fruit of enlightenment, Magga Phala Nibbana. That is why I resolved, in each rebirth, Chati, may I not be reborn in heaven. May I be reborn as a human in every lifetime in order to cultivate as much perfections of character, Bharami, as possible, and practice mental cultivation, Pavana Patipati, in a continuous manner for the purpose of achieving the path and fruit of enlightenment quickly. As a result, I was reborn into this lifetime with a mindset that was different from others. When others spoke of heaven, my mind grew weary and I didn't even want to hear the word heaven. I didn't know why I was this way. Only after practicing did I realize that in a previous lifetime, I had desired to skip heaven. That was why my mindset was one of being fed up with heaven. Heaven is merely a place for a brief rest or a place for a vacation and temporary lodging. When merit, punya, and moral goodness, kusala, are exhausted, a rebirth in the human world is warranted once more. This journeying back and forth between the human realm and heaven has gone on for who knows how many rounds. It is repetitive and a waste of time. Celestial beings, Devata, are divided into two large groups. One of the groups includes celestial beings starting from the Chatum Maharajika heavenly realm, celestial beings from the Davadimsa heavenly realm, celestial beings from the Yama heavenly realm, celestial beings from the Dusita heavenly realm, celestial beings from the Nima Narati heavenly realm, up to celestial beings from the Paranimitta Vasavati heavenly realm. These higher-level celestial beings do not frequently visit the human realm because they are so happy in heaven that they're oblivious to all else. When they are able to regain awareness, their merit and moral goodness have been depleted, thus warranting a return to the human realm again. If they are reborn and encounter sages or wise men, Bandita, or if they have good companions, Kalyanamitta, then that is fortunate. If they are reborn where there are foolish, Pala, people with evil tendencies, they might unknowingly commit evil deeds. Then, when they die, they will be headed toward one of the plains of misery, Abhayapumi, of hell, Naraka, hungry ghosts, Beta, animal, Tirachana, or demon, Asurakaya. Therefore, being reborn in a higher heaven makes it exceedingly difficult to cultivate perfections of character, Bharami. Each day and each night, not a single thought is given to merit or moral goodness. There is only the constant savoring of happiness of celestial, tipa, preoccupations, aramana. They are oblivious to humans making merit, giving charity, dana, upholding the precepts, sila, and contemplating, pavana. Even if humans call out and invite them to participate in the merit-making and moral goodness, these higher-level celestial beings don't participate in the events. Those who do join in the events are lower-level celestial beings like tree-dwelling celestial beings, Rukkatevata, and ground-dwelling celestial beings, Pumata Tevata. Luang Por asked further, so tell me about how they join in the festivities and the way that they live. Have you ever been a lower-level Tevata, Venerable Thoon? I then asked for permission to tell Luang Por the story. This group of deities is close to humans, specifically the house-dwelling deities, Gehat Tevada. In one lifetime, I was born in the human world. I was the leader of a group of male devotees, Upasaka, and female devotees, Upasika. I led the faithful, Satta, in cultivating moral goodness at various temples and proclaimed to the public that they should make merit and give charity to the public. There was a temple by a large cave. A great number of monks and novices, samaneras, resided there together. I regularly led the devotees to cultivate moral goodness at this temple. After I died, I was reborn as a young tree deity, Devaputta. I resided in that expansive forest. I had magically transformed a large sal tree into a beautiful palace. I was the leader of a group of deities. Many of the devotees that had joined in merit-making back then had been reborn as tree deities, Devata. On important Buddhist days, such as the 8th lunar day and 14th to 15th lunar day, I regularly led the group of deities to cultivate moral goodness at this temple, as well as to cultivate moral goodness at other temples. We would set out around 3 to 4 a.m. before the humans would arrive. The means of transport was not the same. Some groups magically conjured ships, while some groups magically conjured palaces, and they floated along together in groups. It was a beautiful sight. They floated at an elevation a few meters above the treetops. Some groups set out for different destinations according to their desires. They had to report to me where they were headed every single time. Another type of event was those in which the deities are invited to join in making merit at various places. These types of deities frequently attend events of this nature, such as merit-making at temples, or merit-making for a house in which they were invited to attend. The invitation is the sake, phrasing commonly used by humans today. There are many groups of deities that join in the event, such as tree deities, ground deities, and house deities. The deities that dwell in the houses of humans have an advantage over other groups of deities because they already reside among humans. Whenever there is merit-making at a house, these deities will know before others and spread the word amongst themselves. If the homeowner is going to make merit, the deities will inform their kind. The tree deities also participate in this merit. A house in which deities reside must be a house of virtue in which there is the constant cultivation of moral goodness and chanting in homage to the Buddha, and mental cultivation conducted on a regular basis. I will now explain some background history for the sake of understanding. During the Buddha's time, there was a house that belonged to Venerable Sonat's mother. Back then, Venerable Sonat Kutikana had recited an intoned recitation, Sarapanya, for the Buddha. After he finished, the Buddha rejoiced Anumodhana by saying Sadhu, Sadhu, and deities from all around also had to rejoice in saying Sadhu, Sadhu together. The deities that resided in Venerable Sonat Kutikana's mother's house also joined in rejoicing, Anumodhana. Thus, the tree deities, ground deities, and house deities have an advantage over the higher level deities because of their proximity to humans. They are able to cultivate merit and moral goodness along with humans on a regular basis. There is much to say about deities. What I have explained are merely examples to facilitate your understanding. After I finished my speech on deities, Luang Por conceded, "That's how it really is." He added, "Being a lower-level deity is advantageous because you get to cultivate merit and moral goodness along with humans regularly, and you receive merit that humans share with you. Those who are to become higher-level or lower-level deities must cultivate merit and moral goodness exclusively in the human world. Those who are to become a Buddha, a silent Buddha, Panceka Buddha, or the many noble ones, Arya must all cultivate perfections of character, Barami, in this human world as well. Therefore, this human world is the place in which we are able to develop our Barami to perfection. That is why those who are able to be reborn in the human world and encounter the Buddhist religion are considered most fortunate. However, it is unfortunate that after being reborn as a human, folks don't cultivate goodness for themselves. They lose themselves in desires and only cultivate evil, papa, karma for themselves. After they die, they go to suffer and burn in hell, or are reborn as hungry ghosts, animals, or demons. This is because the human world is at the center of it all. Whatever it is that someone will become, such as a Buddha, a Panceka Buddha, an Arya, a male deity, Devaputta, a female deity, Devatita, or an inhabitant of one of the 4 lower planes of misery, everyone has cultivated deeds, karma, in this human world.